Synergy Camp has been something that I've been wanting to do since day one. I started talking to Rebecca about this 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I think the idea is to bring people together in a way that helps them understand what it's like to be on an effective team, to overcome some challenges. And I call it camp, not because we're going to be intense or not because we're going to be out there fighting the elements. I call it camp because it's more like field day when you were in middle school. But we're going to do some things outside, some activities, and it's a challenge based camp that's going to allow you to compete, but at the same time grow and learn lessons through those competitions that we're going to be doing together. And owners and managers can come. They can send anyone on their team. Almost every training that we do is role specific. This is not. This is for every person on the team, whoever it is that you want to invest in. If you want to invest in someone that you see has a future leader capabilities, then send them to camp. If you have someone that you want to reward for working hard this year, and you want to do something for them, other than just that means more to them than maybe a bonus or a meal or something like that, send them to camp. Allow us to invest in them in that moment. If you have teammates that you're struggling with, that you can't seem to get started, send them. This is for the idea is to split them up into teams as soon as they arrive. Keep those teams together throughout the course of it. We're going to be doing activity-based learning, which is not, most of the learning that we do or the teaching that we do, we teach a lesson and then we back it up with an activity. Here we're going to create the experience first and then teach the lesson based on what they just experienced. I think it's a much more powerful and impactful way to do it because they can't deny the things that they felt and heard and understood in the moment of working it out. So that lesson then becomes much more impactful. So that's just a little bit of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be messy. It's going to be all those things.
Yeah. And how long is it for folks that are interested in sending their people?
So it's 2.5 days or 2 days and a morning. So right now it's scheduled for a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday morning because that Saturday morning is where the grand finale will take place, which I will. That's where the awards will be given out for the team with the most points, for the individual awards for people who accomplished certain things that we were looking for that maybe we didn't tell them just by observing. There's some method behind all this, and what we're looking for internally is a way to bring teams together so that ultimately they can go back and bring that to their team and be successful in what they're doing and the impact that they're having on their home teams.
Yeah, and what I thought was so remarkable, because I've been in meetings with you developing this, is your activities and the lessons, they all just build on one after another, right? And I think it really makes people kind of breaks them down. And I don't want to give too much away, but it breaks them down and then gets them to think. And then I think it's going to lead to a heck of a crescendo after that 2.5 days. I mean, maybe is there any little insights or nuggets you can sell people on why, on what that looks like and what you're going to expect people to do? Don't want to get too much away.
No, I understand. I think that just, you're right. The intentionality behind it, the thought of what is going to give people the experience that will cause change, that will bring change, and having these build-ups from one activity to the next, from one lesson to the next over the course of the days. What we're looking for is an overall breakthrough from that person. We want them we want to break down some of the defenses that that they may walk in with, or the uncertainties. We want to break that down and get them to the true version of themselves. Then we're going to be looking for breakthroughs. We want them to break through some things. And so whether that's with a teammate that's there, whether that's how they operate within a team, there's going to be some realization there that's going to cause them to be on the other upside of something. And then we're going to look for the breakouts. The breakouts means this is what I'm definitely taking home. This is how it's going to impact my company. This is my action plan to take this with me and be more effective in what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think what I really love about the program is I've seen this in so many businesses, and I've heard about it and talking to people over the years. It's like a big time. Some of the reason why a company doesn't grow or it hits walls is one division gets pitted versus another division. Oh, they're not doing that. And then they don't talk to each other. They just talk within, right? And I think with a program like this, it's going to make people go, well, let's try and work through that, right? Let's learn that, hey, we're all working together. And I think that was your intention, correct, when building this?
100%. We look at the successful businesses that we serve, and really anywhere around the country, and they all have in a growth culture, they understand that things flow in a cycle. That everything that we see in nature grows in a cycle. If you plant a seed, that seed then becomes a sprout, which becomes a tree, which produces fruit, which has within it another seed. That seed then goes to the ground and the cycle continues. And I think our businesses are a lot like that. And the breakdown of the frustrations that we experience are when the seed is not communicating with the soil. When you know what I mean? And that's maybe a silly way to say it. When the fruit refuses to let go and allow that next seed to, there's these breakdowns because that person doesn't quite see how they fit in the overall picture of what we do. And so the original idea with this camp and the thought process behind it is, let's close that cycle. Let's make sure that those gaps are filled and that people are flowing in a way that ultimately leads to growth overall, not only personally, but as a company and an organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And this program, again, you can just send one person. You don't need to send your whole team, because you would like to ultimately bring this program to our members' companies as well. Maybe talk about those on-sites that you do and that you're hoping to do with Synergy Day.
Yeah, Synergy Camp is designed for people to come experience this, but it's not just limited to that, because we understand that there are people who have 10 or 12, maybe 20 people on a team. Not even that many, but it makes more sense at that point for me to come to you and do one that's specific to your team than to try and fly 10 people to wherever we're at. And so for that reason, once you see the result of it, it's just it's not just all work. It's a ton of fun that we're doing, but it's doing it in a way that's bringing a unforeseen, a very calculated but yet unexpected result in what it will do for your team.